There is a fundamental truth that it is easy to fool people than for you to convince them that they have been fooled. Because the human mind is such that when it is conditioned in a certain way, unless the person using the mind is exposed and the person becomes open to new ways of looking at things, the mind will continue to behave exactly as it has been programmed. So it is easy to tell people or to deceive people than to tell them that they have been deceived, because the condition or the situation in which they find themselves in, they feel comfortable in it.
From the heart of Africa, a new way of thinking is rising. Like the eagle, we rise above limitations, seeing farther, thinking deeper, and becoming more. We are the Eagle Mentality Group, illuminating and transforming Africa through the power of thought.
And so if you look at our life is the same as the animals. Even if an animal is in trouble and you want to save it, sometimes it attacks you. But you are only there with a good intent, you see. And so that is what is happening. And there is also another saying and that one actually was given by one of my favorite philosophers, by the French Enlightenment writer called Voltaire. According to Voltaire, that it is difficult to relieve or to free fools from chains that they so revere. I repeat, that it is difficult to relieve fools from the chains that they so revere or they feel comfortable in, that adore those kind of bondage. And that is the situation that most human beings find themselves. And this situation is very vivid and practical in Africa. And that is what we are looking at. It is time for us to relieve our mind. It is time for us to become open-minded people who are ready to explore and look at things from different angles rather than just limiting ourselves to only one way of doing things that has been handed down to us from generation to generations, you said. And so today, the job here is to provoke you positively, for you to think outside the box and to look at your environment, to look at wherever you are across the continent. What are the things that we are failing to do, we are failing to approach or to confront, that we are always getting the wrong result? And so I take this opportunity to welcome you to our program, The Quest. And the quest is simply the short form of the quest for uniform and sustainable development in Africa, using Ghana as a case study. I'm a Ghanaian, and so I know the Ghana situation from birth, from experience, and therefore I can speak about it, even though I have been out of Ghana for some time, or for a long time, but I know everything that is happening in Africa. But Ghana is simply a country that I can use examples. And so today we are looking at how to bring uniform and sustainable development in Africa, using Ghana as a case study. And as I started, Ghanaians and all Africans have lived in a certain way of life, or they've been introduced to a certain political and social structure, such that it has made them to believe in falsehood than the truth. Ghanaians are accustomed to the promises that are being made by their leaders, their political leaders. But all the time, these leaders fail them. But because their mind is conditioned, they are always accustomed to believing in the falsehood than anyone that comes to tell them the truth. And if I'm to use an example, in the past elections, there was a young man called Cheddar. I don't know whether I've mentioned the name well. This young man stood as an independent candidate. And he made a statement that if he is voted into power, he would bring the sea to Kumasi, which is a landlocked city. This statement that he made became more of an attack from his opposition or from all the other political parties, and even the Ghanaian people, they didn't believe him. But as a matter of fact, what he said is a practical thing, and this thing has already been done elsewhere. I have lived in the United Kingdom, and I've lived in Liverpool. I schooled in Liverpool. I know Manchester. There is a canal from the sea in Merseyside or Liverpool area that goes all the way to Manchester. So when you go to Manchester City, you have ships that travel all the way from the sea, bringing goods and people to the city center of Manchester. And so, but because Ghanaians are accustomed to being told that this is what's going to be done, this is what is going, but simple things that they used to deceive them. When this young man raised this issue, people didn't even sit down to analyze what he's putting across. And it is the same thing with what I'm saying or what I'm doing. I know what I'm saying here will look very odd. Some of you may even call for my head, because some of the things I'm going to talk about over these coming weeks will challenge your beliefs and will challenge even the things that you value as our African culture, African tradition. But as a matter of fact, that is the truth. At the end of the day, you need to ask yourself, what is transformation? What is transformation? Transformation is simply introduction of new ideas. If you want to see a change and you don't introduce new ideas, that change will never come. Even if someone comes to impose that change upon you, because you are not the one introducing new ideas, the change will not be comfortable to you, or you will resist the change. You see, and so for Africa and Ghana to move forward, for us to see an improvement that we can showcase on the world stage, there is the need for us to introduce new ideas and also pulling down old structures. That is the quest we are looking at. My name is Emmanuel Mensah, and once again, I welcome you to our program. But before we go on, I just want to take this opportunity to invite you, or to remind you, or to appeal to you that as you listen to me, circulate these messages, like our work, and share it in your network. Let us team up to bring about positive change in our towns, in our communities, such that we will bring ourselves to a level that matches other worlds. At the end of the day, the human mind is the key to all things. And once we are able to use our minds in a way that is supposed to, we will achieve the result that other people are achieving, other people are making. And so this is the time that we've got to begin to ask ourselves serious questions. This is the time that we've got to begin to ask ourselves some of the things that we have been told that we cannot ask. Some of the things that we are told that we cannot talk about. Ghana was created by the colonial administration. We gained independence in 1957. Up till now, Ghana is more or less walking the chameleon way. Sometimes you take one step forward, 2 steps back. But all that we are looking at is we are looking for development. But as we do all these things, the difficult thing that is to Ghanaians and Africans is the acceptance of new ideas, the introduction of new ways of doing things. But until we do this, until we become bold to pull down old structures and introduce new ones, we will not go anywhere. Life is simply experiment. And so I share the sentiments and I share the beliefs in what the young man, that man, Cheddar actually put forward, that he will bring the sea to Kumasi, a landlocked city. It is easy, it is doable. Some people have done it in the 1800s. There are a lot of canals in the United Kingdom and across Europe. And as a matter of fact, even if you travel to Amsterdam, human beings have reclaimed land from the sea and put up houses upon it. If people have done that, why can't we human beings? If you look at the benefit that the canal will bring to Ghana, It's more than we putting up airports and other things. The canal could be used for irrigation. We will have water transport as an alternative to the road transport. We will decongest our roads. You see, we have the Volta Lake. That is a vast land. Up until now, Ghanaians, we haven't been able to develop it into a water transportation that will serve the whole nation. You see, all these things are happening because Ghanaians are not open to new ideas. Ghanaians don't think outside the box because they are accustomed to deceit. And even as I started, whatever thing that I will put across, whatever thing that any other person will say that is not coming out of the mouth of the established political parties, the young men, the older men and women will ridicule it because they are accustomed to deceit. But as a matter of fact, when you become awakened to the truth, you will see that for all this while, you have been deceived. And as I presented it in one of my episodes, the Adam and Eve story is about you. When Adam and Eve actually ate the forbidden tree, they realized that they were naked. And if you be bold enough to venture into what I am presenting here, your eyes will be open and you will realize that for all these years, you were walking naked. You will realize that for all these years, you are only being deceived. Development will never be possible until men and women change their mindset, until men and women change their mental attitude. And as far as these promises and failed culture goes on in Africa, as a matter of fact, even if Jesus Christ is to be brought to Ghana or any other African country as the leader, Jesus Christ will fail based on the structures, based on the mentality, based on the systems that we have now. And if you don't know, even in the Bible, it is recorded that Jesus Christ couldn't perform miracles in his own hometown. Why? Because the people didn't believe him. The work that Jesus did was based on belief, on faith. And faith is simply the existence of the necessary things that foster development. And so as it is, if Ghana is to move forward, our political, both national and local political administration, political structures needs to be revamped. And any man or woman that will promise anything that does not include this, that person is telling you a lie. Because whatever promises that the person is giving, he will not be able to roll out those promises until these structures are in place. The developed world is an example. If you go to the UK, if you come to Canada, if you go to the United States, all the things that you see as beautiful cities, municipalities are not developed by the national government, but it is the municipal and regional authorities or provincial authorities that develop these places with funding and support from the national government. And until this is established in Ghana and across Africa, nothing will happen in Africa except this patchy development or projects that we do, and then they are not sustainable. Very soon or in a couple of years, they fall apart. Then we begin again because we do not have the structures, we don't have the system that foster and brings about the sustainability of whatever we want to achieve. This is just the introduction of what is coming this coming weeks. But as a matter of fact, the main thing that we are doing here is to cause you to wake up and for you to begin to think as an independent and free thinker. You are born and created as a free person with a mind. And the mind can only be useful only when the user uses the mind at its highest level. Therefore, break out from your comfort zone and begin to challenge yourself. Begin to question. Begin to ask questions. Things that you don't understand. Don't be afraid to venture, to ask and probe. And as you do this, your mind and the forces in the universe will reveal to you the truth. And as a matter of fact, when a mind is used at its highest level, there is no challenge that it cannot overcome. You will know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Thank you, and God bless you.
Join, subscribe, follow, like, and share our content on YouTube and Facebook.